First strike. Dr. Maya Patel's fingers flew across her holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting streams of data as she tracked anomalies in Earth's global defense network. Something wasn't right. The quantum encryption protocols she helped design were reporting microscopic inconsistencies, patterns so subtle that only someone with her expertise in neural-enhanced cybersecurity could detect them. "Colonel Hayes, I need you to see this," she called out, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her chest. The tall, weather-worn officer approached her station in the Planetary Defense Command Center, his cybernetic eye whirring as it focused on her display. "Talk to me, Doctor," he said, placing a scared hand on the back of her chair. 20 years in Earth's special forces had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, those instincts were screaming. "These patterns, they're not random system noise. Someone's probing our defenses, but in a way I've never seen before. It's like they're using quantum tunneling to test our encryptions, but at a level that shouldn't be possible with current technology." The colonel's organic eye narrowed. Insider threat. Maya shook her head, bringing up another display. "No, the attack vectors are coming from outside our solar system. Way outside." She highlighted a series of coordinates that made Hayes's breath catch. "Whatever this is, it's not human." Before Hayes could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Red warning lights bathed the command center in a crimson glow as Maya's displays exploded with activity. "They're accelerating their attack," she shouted, her augmented neural interface struggling to keep up with the flood of data. "These aren't probes anymore. They're trying to take control of our orbital defense platforms." Hayes snapped into action, his military training taking over. "Lock down all systems, now." General quarters throughout the facility. But Maya was already ahead of him, her fingers dancing across multiple displays as she engaged emergency protocols she'd designed but never thought she'd have to use. "I'm implementing Protocol Firewall," she announced, her neural interface glowing beneath her skin as she connected directly with Earth's defense systems. "They may be advanced, but they don't understand how humans think." She began implementing what she called controlled chaos, deliberately introducing random elements into Earth's defense networks that appeared as weaknesses but were actually traps. The alien systems, too perfect in their logic, couldn't adapt fast enough to her impossibly human approach to cybersecurity. "They're sophisticated," she muttered, more to herself than Hayes, "but they're predictable. They expect everything to follow logical patterns. They don't understand. Sometimes humans just wing it." Hayes watched in amazement as Maya turned Earth's apparent vulnerability into its greatest strength. Where the aliens expected order, she gave them chaos. Where they sought patterns, she provided randomness. It was like watching a master jazz musician improvise. Beautiful, unpredictable, and impossibly effective. Suddenly, the attacks began to falter. Maya's traps were working, sending cascading failures through the alien probe systems. On her screens, she could see their perfectly ordered attack patterns breaking down as they encountered her deliberately chaotic defenses. "Got you," she whispered, a grim smile spreading across her face as she initiated her final countermeasure. The trap she'd laid wasn't just defensive. It was a reverse hack, using the aliens' own quantum tunneling technology against them. As their systems tried to process her chaotic defense patterns, she slipped through their defenses, gathering crucial intelligence about their capabilities and intentions. What she found chilled her to the bone. "Colonel," she said, her voice tight, "we need to call an emergency meeting of the Global Defense Council. These aliens, the Nexari, they've done this before. They've conquered dozens of civilizations by infiltrating their defense systems before launching physical attacks. We're next on their list." Hayes studied the data streaming across Maya's displays, his cybernetic eye recording everything. "But this time they've made a mistake," he said, his voice hard with determination. "They assumed all species would think like they do. Logically, predictably. They weren't ready for human creativity." Maya nodded, already composing her report for the Defense Council. They thought our technological advancement would make us predictable, just like all the other species they've conquered. Instead, they've just discovered that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our ability to think outside any box they try to put us in. As emergency meetings were called and Earth's military forces went to high alert, Maya couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The Nexeri had chosen humanity as their next target, believing Earth would fall as easily as their previous conquests. Instead, they'd just awakened a sleeping giant, one that would show them just how dangerous it was to underestimate human ingenuity. The first battle in humanity's greatest war had been fought in the digital realm, and Earth had emerged victorious. But Maya knew this was just the beginning. The Nexeri would return, and next time, they wouldn't just be testing Earth's defenses, they would be coming in force. But now, thanks to her counteract, humanity would be ready. And they would show these aliens exactly why it was a mistake to pick a fight with the most unpredictable species in the galaxy. Would you like me to continue with Part 2? The Luna Defense. Commander Sarah Way stood at the observation dome of Luna Base Alpha, her eyes fixed on the shimmering force field that protected humanity's largest extraterrestrial settlement. After Dr. Patel's discovery of the Nexeri threat, every human installation had been placed on high alert. But Luna Base, with its vast helium-3 mining operations and quantum research facilities, was arguably the most crucial target outside of Earth itself. "Status report on the mining converter modifications," she asked, not turning from the view of Earth hanging like a blue jewel in the black sky. Dr. Marcus Kincaid, the base's chief engineer, consulted his neural interface display. "The conversion's at 89%. We've successfully repurposed 37 helium-3 extractors into makeshift plasma weapons. It's not pretty, but it'll pack one hell of a punch." Sarah nodded, finally turning to face her team in the command center. The room was a hub of controlled chaos, with personnel from every department working to transform their scientific outpost into a fortress. What made Luna Base special wasn't its military capability, it was the ingenuity of its civilian workforce. "Dr. Rodriguez, how are the gravity manipulation experiments coming along?" she asked the young physicist who'd been working nonstop for the past 72 hours. Carla Rodriguez grinned, her exhaustion evident, but her eyes bright with excitement. "Better than we hoped, Commander. We've modified the artificial gravity generators to create localized gravity wells. If the Nexeri try to land troops, we can literally pull them out of the sky." Before Sarah could respond, the base's eye assistant, Liza, interrupted with an urgent alert. Multiple quantum signatures detected approaching from the dark side of the moon. Pattern match confirms Nexeri vessels. The command center erupted into focused activity. This wasn't a drill. This was what they'd been preparing for. Sarah's voice cut through the controlled chaos with practiced authority. "Initialize defense protocols. Dr. Kincaid, power up those converted mining rigs. Dr. Rodriguez, gravity wells on standby." The first Nexeri ships appeared like ghostly apparitions, their advanced stealth technology making them seem to fade in and out of reality. Under normal circumstances, a civilian base would have no chance against such advanced military technology. But Luna Base was anything but normal. "They're launching their first wave," Lisa announced, her artificial voice calm and precise. "Detecting approximately 300 combat drones." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Let's show them why you don't underestimate human creativity. Dr. Rodriguez, you're up." Carla's fingers danced across her control panel. The modified gravity generators hummed to life, creating invisible wells of intensified gravitational force. The first wave of Nexeri drones flew straight into them, their perfect formation suddenly becoming their weakness. Hundreds of drones were pulled off course, crashing into each other in a spectacular display of destruction. "Mining rigs online," Marcus announced. The repurposed helium-3 extractors, never designed as weapons, began firing superheated plasma into the chaos of trapped drones. The effect was devastating. The Nexeri, expecting to face traditional military defenses, had no countermeasures for mining equipment turned into improvised weapons. But the aliens were quick to adapt. The second wave of attacks came from multiple angles, trying to overwhelm the gravity wells. That's when Sarah revealed their final surprise. "Activate the quantum interference field," she ordered. The quantum research labs had been working on experiments in particle entanglement. Now, those same experiments became weapons, creating a field of quantum disruption that played havoc with the Nexary's sophisticated technology. The alien ships, relying heavily on quantum computing for their targeting and navigation, began to falter. Their perfect formations broke apart as their systems struggled to compensate for the unexpected interference. Several ships collided, their advanced shields useless against the laws of physics. "They're retreating," Carla announced, her voice filled with disbelief and joy. The remaining Nexary vessels were pulling back, their perfect battle plan shattered by human improvisation. Sarah watched them go, her expression serious despite their victory. "They'll be back," she said quietly, "and next time they'll be ready for our tricks. But that's the thing about humans. We're pretty good at coming up with new ones." Marcus approached her, his neural interface still processing data from their improvised weapons. "You know what's really going to drive them crazy? They'll analyze this battle 1,000 times, trying to figure out our military strategy. And they'll never understand," Carla added, joining them at the observation dome, "because we didn't have one. We just took what we had and made it work." Sarah nodded, watching the last Nexary ships disappear into the darkness of space. Luna Base had just proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its military might or even its technology. It was the ability to adapt, to take the impossible and make it possible. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. "Tell them Luna Base stands firm, and we've got some interesting data on Nexary vulnerabilities. And tell Dr. Patel she was right. They really don't understand how humans think." The battle for Luna Base was over, but the war was just beginning. The Nexary had learned a costly lesson about underestimating human ingenuity, but Sarah knew they would be back. Next time, humanity would need more than clever tricks and repurposed mining equipment. They would need to take the fight to the enemy. As she looked out at the stars, Sarah Way made a silent promise. The Nexary thought they could break humanity by attacking their outposts. Instead, they had just given humans a reason to push beyond their limits, to prove that the most dangerous species in the galaxy wasn't the one with the most advanced technology. It was the one that could turn anything into a weapon, including their own scientific curiosity. Operation Starfall. Admiral James Chen stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's newest carrier vessel, watching as hundreds of civilian ships assembled alongside his military fleet. The sight would have been unthinkable just months ago. Merchant vessels, mining ships, and even tourist cruisers modified for combat operations, all volunteering for humanity's first major offensive against the Nexary. "Fleet composition analysis complete," reported Lieutenant Amara Okafor, her neural implants glowing softly as she processed the data. "We have 47 military vessels and 312 converted civilian ships. The Nexary won't expect this kind of irregular force structure." "That's exactly what we're counting on," James replied, studying the holographic battle plan floating before him. "They expect military precision and conventional tactics. We're going to give them organized chaos instead." The plan for Operation Starfall was unlike anything in military history. Instead of a traditional fleet engagement, they would use the civilian ship's diverse capabilities to create an unprecedented level of tactical confusion. Mining vessels with their powerful cutting beams, passenger ships with their extensive shield systems, cargo haulers modified to launch swarms of automated drones, each would play a unique role. "Message from Dr. Patel on Earth," announced Communications Officer Raj Patel, no relation. "The cyber warfare package is ready for upload to all ships." James nodded. Maya Patel's cyber attacks had proven devastatingly effective against Nexary systems. Now, every ship in the fleet would carry a version of her chaos-based algorithms, ready to disrupt enemy targeting and communications. Begin fleet-wide upload, he ordered, and get me Captain Y on Luna Base. Sarah Way's hologram appeared moments later. After successfully defending Luna Base, she had become one of Earth's leading experts on countering Nexeri tactics. Admiral, the gravity manipulation technology is ready for deployment. We've modified it for space combat. But I should warn you, it's still experimental. At this point, Captain, everything we're doing is experimental. James allowed himself a small smile. That's what makes it effective. The fleet would rendezvous with the Nexeri force near the asteroid belt, where the aliens had established their main forward base. Intelligence suggested they were preparing for a major assault on Earth, but humanity had no intention of waiting for them to strike first. All ships report ready, Amara announced. Civilian captains requesting final confirmation of their battle assignments. James activated the fleet-wide communication channel. This is Admiral Chen. Today we launch humanity's first major offensive against an enemy that thought we would be easy prey. They expected to find a primitive species they could easily conquer. Instead, they found humanity. He paused, looking at the incredible array of ships before him, a testament to human adaptability and determination. Each of your ships has been given a specific role in Operation Starfall. But more importantly, each of you has been chosen because you understand something the Nexeri don't, that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our military might, but our ability to improvise, to adapt, and to overcome. The first signs of Nexeri ships appeared on long-range sensors. Right on schedule. All ships, battle positions. Commence Operation Starfall. The human fleet moved with controlled disorder. Civilian ships intermixed with military vessels in ways that defied conventional tactical analysis. The Nexeri responded exactly as expected, forming perfect battle lines with mathematical precision. They're launching their first wave, Amara reported. Standard attack pattern, just like the simulations predicted. Execute Phase 1, James ordered. Let's show them why predictability is a weakness. The civilian mining ships moved forward, their cutting beams, normally used for asteroid mining, modified to emit widespread electromagnetic pulse fields. Meanwhile, passenger liners activated their enhanced shield systems, creating a complex network of overlapping defensive barriers that confused Nexeri targeting systems. Nexeri fleet is adjusting formation, Raj announced. They're trying to isolate our military vessels. Perfect. Deploy the cargo drones. Hundreds of cargo haulers simultaneously released swarms of automated drones. Simple machines normally used for loading and unloading freight, now reprogrammed for combat. The Nexeri, focusing on the military threats, were suddenly overwhelmed by thousands of small, agile targets. Dr. Patel's cyber warfare package is engaging, Amara reported with satisfaction. Nexeri command and control systems are showing significant disruption. The battle unfolded like a complex dance, but one where only the humans knew the steps. Every time the Nexeri adapted to one unconventional tactic, the human fleet would switch to another. Military vessels would hide behind civilian ships, using their irregular energy signatures as cover. Mining beams would cut through space from unexpected angles, their civilian origins making them harder for military-grade sensors to track. They're falling back, Raj announced after nearly an hour of chaos. Their formation is breaking apart. James watched as the mighty Nexeri fleet retreated, their perfect military precision shattered by human unpredictability. Begin Phase 2. We're not just driving them back, we're taking that forward base. As the human fleet pressed their advantage, James reflected on how this victory had been achieved, not through superior technology or military might, but through the uniquely human ability to take whatever tools were available and turn them into advantages. Send word to Earth, he ordered. Operation Starfall is a success, and tell them to ready the next phase of our counteroffensive. The Nexeri thought they were invading Earth. Instead, they had given humanity a reason to reach for the stars. The battle wasn't over, not by a long shot. But humanity had proven something crucial. In a galaxy where most species relied on technological superiority or military might, humanity's greatest weapon was its infinite capacity for adaptation and innovation. The Nexeri had started this war expecting to find an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened a force they could never have predicted: the unstoppable creativity of the human spirit. The neural network. Deep within the quantum research facility beneath the Himalayan mountains, Dr. Aisha Rahman stood before a holographic display that defied conventional understanding. The neural interface at the base of her skull hummed as she processed the incredible amount of data flowing through the system she'd helped create. "Integration test 73 beginning now," she announced to her team. Around her, some of Earth's brightest minds monitored various aspects of what they call the Collective Defense Network, CDN, humanity's most ambitious response to the Nexeri threat. Dr. David Cohen, her partner in developing the system's quantum architecture, watched as the test began. Previous attempts at artificial intelligence always tried to make computers think like individual humans, he said, adjusting his neural link. We went the opposite direction. The CDN wasn't just another AI system. It was an attempt to capture humanity's greatest strength: collective creativity and adaptability. Instead of trying to create a single artificial mind, they had built a network that could tap into the combined intuition and creativity of thousands of human operators simultaneously. "Neural sync holding steady," reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's consciousness integration specialist. "We're seeing unprecedented levels of coherent thought patterns across all test subjects." Through special neural interfaces, human operators could connect their minds directly to the network, sharing their intuition, creativity, and problem-solving abilities. The system would then analyze and synthesize these inputs, creating battle strategies that combined human unpredictability with computer speed execution. "Incoming test scenario," Aisha announced. The holographic display shifted, showing a simulated Nexeri attack based on data from previous encounters. Beginning response generation. Across the facility, hundreds of volunteer operators, military strategists, civilian engineers, artists, even professional gamers, were plugged into the system. Their combined creativity flowed through the quantum processors, generating defensive strategies that no single human or computer could have conceived. "Look at this," David breathed, watching the simulation unfold. The CDN was creating battle plans that seemed chaotic at first glance, but revealed intricate patterns of interconnected actions. It was like watching a million jazz musicians improvising perfectly together. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Yuki's hands flew across her console. "This isn't part of the test. We're detecting actual Nexeri signatures approaching Earth's defense perimeter." Aisha's decision was immediate. "Keep the system online. Patch us into Earth Defense Command." The holographic display shifted, showing Admiral Chen aboard the Prometheus. "Admiral, the CDN is operational. Request permission to assist in defense coordination." James Chen's hologram nodded grimly. "Permission granted. Show us what this system can do, Doctor." The Nexeri attack force was massive, clearly intended to be their decisive strike against Earth. But this time, humanity was ready with something the aliens could never have anticipated. "All defensive units, prepare for CDN integration," Aisha commanded. Across Earth's defense network, ships, stations, and ground installations connected to the Collective Defense Network. Through their neural interfaces, thousands of human minds joined together, their combined creativity and intuition flowing through the quantum processors. The Nexeri struck with their usual mathematical precision, expecting to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer force and superior technology. Instead, they encountered something entirely new. Earth's defensive response was unlike anything seen before in military history. Fighter squadrons moved in patterns that seemed random but were perfectly coordinated. Ground-based weapons systems fired in sequences that appeared chaotic but achieved maximum strategic impact. Space stations reconfigured their defenses in ways that predicted and countered Nexari attacks before they fully developed. "The network is learning," David observed, watching as the system adapted in real time. "It's not just combining our strategies, it's evolving them." Through the neural interfaces, human operators could sense each other's tactical insights, building upon them instantaneously. A fighter pilot's split-second decision would be analyzed, enhanced, and distributed across the entire network in milliseconds. An engineer's creative solution would be immediately adapted and implemented across multiple battle zones. "They can't predict us," Yuki said with growing excitement. "Every time they adapt to one pattern, we're already shifting to something new." The Nexari fleet, faced with an enemy that combined human unpredictability with machine-speed coordination, began to falter. Their perfect formations broke apart as they tried to counter strategies that evolved faster than their tactical computers could analyze. "We're not just defending," Aisha realized, watching the battle unfold. "The network is generating counter-attack patterns, strategies no one would have thought of individually." Admiral Chen's voice came through the command channel. "Whatever you've created down there, Doctor, it's working. The Nexari are retreating across all sectors." As the alien fleet withdrew in disarray, Aisha looked at her team with a mixture of pride and awe. They had created something unprecedented, a system that didn't just mimic human thought, but enhanced humanity's natural creativity and adaptability. "Send word to all CDN operators," she ordered. "Today we prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't our individual brilliance. It's our ability to work together, to combine our creativity in ways that transcend our individual limitations." The collective defense network had done more than just repel another Nexari attack. It had demonstrated that humanity's path to the stars wouldn't be through mimicking alien technology, but by enhancing what made humans unique: their creativity, adaptability, and unending capacity for innovation. As the facility's systems began compiling data from the battle, Aisha knew this was just the beginning. The CDN would continue to evolve, learning and growing with each engagement. The Nexari had sought to conquer Earth through superior technology and perfect logic. Instead, they had pushed humanity to create something entirely new, a fusion of human creativity and machine efficiency that would change the course of galactic history. Victory among the stars. The massive holographic display in Earth's Combined Operations Center showed thousands of ships moving through space, human vessels of every description, from mighty military carriers to converted civilian craft, all connected through the collective defense network. At the center of this unprecedented fleet, the ESS Prometheus led humanity's final push toward the Nexari homeworld. Admiral James Chen stood with his command staff, surrounded by holographic representations of Earth's greatest defenders. Dr. Maya Patel, whose cyber warfare systems had first exposed the Nexari threat. Commander Sarah Wei, veteran of the Luna-based defense. Dr. Aisha Rahman, architect of the CDN. Together, they represented humanity's complete response to alien aggression, a combination of military might, civilian ingenuity, and technological innovation. "The Nexari have fallen back to their core systems," Maya reported, her neural interface processing real-time data streams. "Their tactical patterns show increasing desperation. They've never encountered a species that could push them this far. Because they've never encountered humans before," Sarah added, her hologram gesturing toward the tactical display. "Every other civilization they conquered tried to beat them at their own game, matching technology with technology, military might with military might. But we did something different," Aisha continued, her image surrounded by streams of CDN data. "We showed them that true strength isn't about having the most advanced technology or the biggest fleet. It's about adaptation, creativity, and working together in ways they could never predict." The fleet approached the outer defense perimeter of the Nexari home system. Here, in their last stronghold, the aliens had concentrated everything they had left. Their ships formed mathematically perfect defensive patterns, their technology honed by countless victories over other civilizations. All ships, prepare for final engagement, James commanded. Activate all CDN interfaces. Today we show the galaxy that humanity isn't just another species to be conquered. We're something entirely new. Through the neural network, thousands of human minds connected, their combined creativity and intuition flowing through quantum processors. Civilian ships moved alongside military vessels in patterns that defied conventional tactical analysis. Mining beams synchronized with military weapons, creating interwoven fields of fire. Converted passenger liners generated overlapping shield geometries that transformed defense into attack. The Nexaries struck first, their weapons attempting to establish tactical superiority through overwhelming force. But humanity had learned from every previous encounter, and the CDN had evolved beyond anything the aliens could comprehend. Execute Operation Chaos Symphony, James ordered. The name was fitting. What followed was like watching an impossible orchestra, where every musician was improvising, yet somehow creating perfect harmony. Dr. Patel's cyber warfare systems, now distributed through the entire fleet, began unraveling Nexarii command and control networks. Not through brute force attacks, but through the introduction of creative inconsistencies that their logical systems couldn't process. Commander Wei's gravity manipulation technology, refined since the Luna-based defense, created space-time distortions that turned the battlefield itself into a weapon. Nexarii ships found their perfect formations disrupted by gravitational eddies they couldn't predict or counter. Through it all, the collective defense network coordinated every action, combining human creativity with machine efficiency in ways that made the entire fleet fight like a single organism, but one that could improvise and adapt faster than any individual mind. Their central command structure is collapsing, Maya announced, monitoring the cyber warfare feeds. They can't maintain tactical coherence against our adaptive attacks. The Nexarii fleet began to break apart, their perfectly ordered military discipline shattering in the face of human unpredictability. Ships designed for mathematical warfare found themselves unable to cope with strategies that evolved faster than their computers could analyze. "They're sending a transmission," Asia reported suddenly, broadcasting on all frequencies. The message that came through was brief but historic. "We yield to the humans. Their ways are incomprehensible to us. We cannot defeat what we cannot understand." Silence fell across the command center as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just defeated a technologically superior enemy. They had forced that enemy to recognize that superiority alone wasn't enough. "Send our response," James commanded, his voice carrying the weight of history. "Tell them that humanity accepts their surrender, and we're prepared to discuss terms for peaceful coexistence. Tell them we're ready to show them a different way, one that values creativity and adaptation over perfection and control." As the human fleet moved to secure the Nexarii surrender, Dr. Raman's hologram smiled. "You know what's remarkable? Everything we created to win this war, the CDN, our adaptive strategies, our combined military and civilian operations, it's all perfect for peaceful exploration too. Because that's who we really are," Maya agreed. "We're not conquerors or empire builders. We're innovators and explorers. The Nexarii forced us to prove that in war, but now we can prove it in peace." The victory over the Nexarii marked more than just the end of a conflict. It marked humanity's true emergence as a galactic civilization. They had shown the universe that the path to the stars didn't require perfect technology or unbeatable weapons. It required something far more powerful, the uniquely human abilities to adapt, to create, and to work together in ways that transcended individual limitations. As the combined fleet secured the Nexarii systems, preparing for the complex task of establishing peace, Admiral Chen looked out at the stars that had once seemed so hostile. Now they represented infinite possibilities for human innovation and exploration. "Send word to Earth," he commanded. "Tell them that humanity hasn't just won a war. We've proven something far more important. We've shown the galaxy that the future belongs to those who can adapt and create, not to those who seek perfection and control." "The stars are calling," and humanity is ready to answer. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. They had entered the galactic stage not as conquerors or victims, but as innovators and explorers, ready to share their unique gifts with the universe. The Nexeri had sought to demonstrate humanity's weakness, but instead they had revealed humanity's greatest strength, the power to face the unknown not with fear, but with creativity, adaptability, and an unshakable spirit of cooperation.